All right, everyone, talk about non-coincidental timing. Donald Trump decides to come out and warn the Cambodians and the Thai, hey, our country's not going to be able to strike any trade deals with you until you stop killing one another. And then a ceasefire breaks out. John Bolton must be having nightmares at the moment as a result of this. Link in the description archive, of course. I think that peace is a good thing. I would prefer that civilians not be splattered by rockets and shit. There are still some continuing border skirmishes, and what this relates to is a dispute over where the border actually is between Cambodia and Thailand. And so there were skirmishes that broke out and it escalated. And thankfully now it looks like at least temporarily the genie's back in the bottle. Now, this has gone on for decades, actually. There have been repeated incursions from both sides, and both sides tend to blame the other, saying basically, you were being disrespectful towards our country because your troops came across the border, or somebody got shot, or there was a landmine that was, 2 feet across the border. It's stuff like that. And this happens within Asian politics almost exclusively, actually, happens all the time because of the cultures that exist there. And so, generally speaking, things calm down after a while, only to flare up later. I found it funny, though, that this comes right in the wake of Donald Trump saying, yeah, we're not going to trade with your countries. We're not going to be able to strike trade deals unless you calm down. I think that that's rather telling. Now, China was in attendance as well. China tends to back Cambodia, which is funny because the last time around, the United States actually, and this was stupid, recognized the leadership of Pol Pot, actually, one of the most butcherous dictators in all of world history. Recognized his leadership simply to snub the Vietnamese, actually. Uh, it's really funny. Now Cambodia is more eastern aligned, Vietnam is drinking Coca-Cola, and Thailand is an exporting muscle that sort of straddles the line but leans to the west. It's a very, very strange situation there in Southeast Asia. The same is true of South Asia as well. I mean, you look at India and Pakistan. India is a huge exporter. It's part of BRICS, but at the same time, and part of the Silk Road, but at the same time leans west in some cases, whereas we're funding the Pakistanis. They're part of the string of pearls as well, and it's very, very strange. The socioeconomic situation and the geopolitical situation in that area of the world is among the most complex that's ever existed. It's like Europe is easy. We're Europe. Ta-da! South America's easy. You get some cartel violence and juntas and stuff like that once in a while. But generally speaking, all is well. I mean, you have Chile getting overthrown by a bunch of socialists after Pinochet. He never announced which pronunciation he preferred, stabilized the situation there long ago. So, with regards to Thailand and Cambodia, and I would love to visit both countries, by the way, it looks like, at least for some time, peace has broken out there. The warmongers will be sad tonight. This is good, though, for the rest of the world. This could have ended up becoming a regional conflict. You could end up with China getting involved. You could end up with Vietnam getting involved. It's not like Vietnam hasn't involved itself with Cambodia before. Pol Pot sent troops into Vietnam. The Vietnamese erased them from existence, invaded. Pol Pot fled, and it's a very, very long history. I would note that the Chinese invaded Vietnam twice over the same period that we had already invaded them. Vietnam remains standing as having lost only one war, and that was against the French, which is slightly funny, but, they beat the shit out of everyone else that attempted to invade them. Thailand is a unique country, by the way. It's I know a person who lives in Thailand. He loves it, finds it great. It sounds like a great place to be. They've got war elephants, quite literally. So that's pretty based, in my opinion. I'm glad to see peace breaking out there, though, because most of the casualties of modern wars, they're not. military. They didn't join the military. They're not politicians, the kind of people that you would want to kill, by the way, and stuff like that. They're just regular average Joes and Janes. Those are the main people that get splattered in modern warfare. And it's like, 300 years ago, you'd have columns of men attacking one another, and it was almost uniquely males. They all voluntarily, well, most of the time, joined into a military force, and they shot at each other, and then they called it a day. Somebody won, somebody lost. And while there was war rape and all of these other terrible things that happen, for the most part, civilians were spared. It's been said the worst war for the soldiers was World War One, but World War Two was the worst for the civilians. That firebombing of Dresden might have lent a role in that happening. Yeah, we only killed 500,000 people. It's really nothing. Churchill was a great dude. I'm glad that peace has broken out between Thailand and Cambodia, because I would love these nations to be calm and at peace because someday I intend to arrive and visit them. I would love to do that. Both nations, by the way. Excellent food, all sorts of cool culture. I'm sure there's a million fucking fuck tons of museums and stuff like that to see. So yeah, congratulations. Hopefully the ceasefire holds. We're never sure about such things. That's the problem. All you need is one rogue soldier in a disputed zone to fire one shot before things go hot again. The hope is that that doesn't happen. That's about all. Peace out.